Here we are. We're live. Oh, and quite an ordeal it was too. I I was trying to get things set up, and I was messing around here with this camera, and getting this all straightened out. And all of a sudden, I looked up, and I'm like, it's 7:29, and I don't have my phone hooked up yet. Oh, so I quick ran around and got it done, and here we are. And I have somebody watching. And I'm getting names here in my box because I started and realized that I was running out of time, and I quick just threw them. So I'm checking. I have my list of who was on last week, and I'm putting them in here, or the week before last. It's actually been 2 weeks because I wasn't on last week, as you all know. I was. Hi, Carol. Happy New Year. Oh, all kinds of neat stuff going on. The new catalog is on its way. Well, it's there. You should have it by now, I hope. Um, if anybody does not have it yet, you must let me know that you don't have it and that you need a copy, and I'll get a copy to you. Promise. I tried to get them out to you as much as I could. And so I hope you got them and got to take a good look at them and see some neat stuff and make up a list, your wish list. And that's what we're going to be working on tonight. Not which wish lists, but an item from the new catalog, because I am so tired of working on Christmas things. I'm so over Christmas. So I thought that we could work on something out of the new catalog. And it's actually a celebration item, which is really cool because it's something that you can get for free. And I guess since I wasn't on last week, everybody forgot that I was going to be on this week, except for Carol. So, because nobody's here unless they couldn't find me, which I can understand that because I was looking for myself. I was looking for the last thing that I did so that I can make up my list of who was on and who commented, so I could put their names in the drawing. And so I'm going through my broadcast trying to find the last one I did, and I couldn't find it. And I thought, geez, no wonder people are always saying they have a hard time finding me. I'm having a hard time finding myself. But I did find it, and I did make my list, and I do have the names here, and somebody's going to win. Actually, this week I'm going to be showing you calendars, and so that's going to be a thing too this week. So here we go. Barb is the winner this time. Barb, you're going to get a calendar in the mail. Um, and if I write that down right now, I will remember to get it to you in the mail. Barb gets a calendar. And going forward, if your name is pulled and you hear me say that you're going to get a card or a calendar or a prize or anything, and you don't get it, let me know, because every now and then, the brain just skips a beat. Hi, Jane. Oh, Jane's here too. Good. Every now and then the brain just skips a beat, and I just miss something. So Barb won the calendar last. Barb won the drawing this time around. I'm gonna flip on another light, and it's not helping at all. Okay, so what I'm gonna do tonight, out of the new catalog, I'm gonna be working with the Dainty Delight cling stamp set. These are the dies, but I don't think I'm not using any of the dies because this is the best. Okay, so this is in the new catalog as a bundle. Hi, Susie. This is in as a bundle. Okay, But this paper, these sheets here, are available as a celebration gift. This is a freebie. Yes, it is a freebie. Let me just see. I think it's free with 50. Yes, free with $50 with a $50 purchase. And I gotta tell you, this paper is the best. I don't know. They've been coming up with some great papers in the celebration giveaways lately, and this one is no exception, man. It is really pretty. Um, I can kind of slip a couple of full sheets here. I've been going crazy with it, but this is one of them. If you're a purple lover, and I know there's a lot of lovers out there, this is so pretty. And it's blue on the other side. And there's this one. This one is, oh, this is like a watercolor on the other side, which makes a really cool background. And then this is that print, but smaller, and it's pink on the other side. And then there's this green with foliage and purple, and that's there. This is the only one I'm not showing you here because we're using it. And we see what we do with it. It's so cool. That actually, I am going to pull a piece of that out because I want you to see how neat this is. They have, maybe not. If I can find it, I will show it to you. Okay, this is this, which is this. This is another one of those sheets. You can cut it in half. Then you have the bottom and the top to use for so many different things. Just the way it is. We are going to use that for our gatefold card. But the other thing is on the back of the watercolor, one of the watercolors, is this. And this, I don't have anything that cuts this out specifically, but what I have done is I cut it here, I cut it here. So there's two pieces, okay? And then I cut each one of these across like that. So then I rounded the corners. You're going to see it comes out really cool. And that's what I use for the calendar. So how is everybody? Did everybody have a nice Christmas? It's over so fast, you know. It's like you do this and you do that. You make your cards. You do your shopping. You get all these things going, and then boom, it's over. It's just over too fast. And my brother's family was sick, so we were not able to get together with them. But we still had a nice, quiet Christmas. And so it went well. Dogs got new beds. I showed you those on Facebook. They love them. Here's another thing I wanted to show you. This is another one of those neat little, what did we call it? Bridge card. Okay, it's a bridge card. Let me put it down here. I think you can see it better down here. Okay, it is also from the celebration book, the owl stamp set. And there's two things out of this celebration book. There is the owls, which are free with $50 purchase. Adorable owls, and they are adorable. And I actually kind of copied this one with the owl sitting on the swing. But then I made it into this gatefold card, and I used the paper that is free with $100 purchase. This paper is great. There's a ton of paper here. It's 12 by 12, 48 sheets. 12 by 12. It's like a lot of pastels. Really very nice paper. And so that's what I used for the background. And then this one I did, Carol, I did make this the right size that it does fit in an envelope. Look at that. It fits right in there. So I sent those. I know you got them. I sent those measurements out in an email. And if Linda gets one, I have to ask her if she got that email because she had not gotten it. And I have trouble with her email. And I think her email boots me out when I send out a group email. Jane, yours might do that to me too. I'm not sure. It seems like when I send out a group email, there's a couple of people that don't get them. And I know my email does that sometimes too. If something comes in as a group email, it says, "Oh, this must be spam," and it shoots it over to the spam folder. So I'm not sure if that's what's happening or what's happening. But anyway, let's do something here. So tonight, what I want to do, I want to do a gatefold card, and this is what it looks like. And it has this little kind of flips in there, sits under there. So like it's flat. It just sits flat like this. You can write on the back, you can draw on the back, you can stamp on the back, you can do anything you want to because the main card is attached to the front. It's right here. So this one says celebrate you. And then on the inside it's happy birthday. Isn't that not gorgeous? I just love this. I love this paper so much. Yeah, Jane, you don't get my group emails either. I think that's what's happening. I think they're going. It doesn't notify me that you didn't get them. But I was trying to remember to copy you separately on everything so that you get them. So the last one I sent out was December 20th, and that was the one that was the corrected measurements and it had a Christmas card on the front. And it was the corrected measurements for the gatefold card. So if you didn't get that, let me know. It was December 20th. I sent it out and I'll forward it to you. Anyway, so when I make any kind of a card like this, it's a fun fold. It's a little bit different. I make a template with all of the measurements and I just use scrap paper. So that's what this is. And you're going to see me referring to this a lot, but I'm also going to keep it front and center so that you can see the measurements so that you can write them down if you want to make one of these. But the other thing about this card is I'm going to show you not only how to make this fold, but also when you get in the inside, this is paper. This is designer series paper here, but this is a stamp. Now, how did I get all those colors on that stamp? That's what I'm going to show you. This is really easy and it's a really neat technique. And I really like it a lot when I get a stamp set like this because it's just, it, it's using those stamps fully. So, okay, so here we go. Let's try that. The second thing we're going to do after we finish this is we are going to do a calendar. I'm going to just do a real quick calendar because somebody asked me to do one just to show you real quick how they work. Um, I have, and I'm going to be giving out a lot of calendars in the upcoming couple of weeks, but I'm just going to let you know that show you that this is how they get made. Okay, let's do our gatefold card. So we're starting out with a base of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So that's this. I have a lot of these cut already, but then you know what they are. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 base. Okay, and then this part, the gatefold layer, is 8 by 4 1/4. That's here. And it gets scored, and I did not do this yet, so I'm going to do it right now. It's 8 by 4 1/4, scored at 2, and at 6. A couple of us were talking the other day about the scoring and how this scoring thing keeps kind of popping out down here at the bottom where the hole is to move so you can get your cutting blade out. the scoring blade goes down there and it falls out. So I have changed my blades around. So the scoring blade's up here, cutting blades down here, and I try to keep them there all the time. But one of the girls reminded me that there is a scoring board that is a whole separate piece. And it's really kind of nice. It's a kind of a nice thing to have. And I have one and I hardly ever use it because it's put away. So I'm going to pull it out and start using it eventually. Okay, so our gatefold layer is 8 by 4 1/4, scored at 2 and scored at 6. And I am going to fold these and burnish them really well. And then we want an inside layer that's 3.5 by 3 3/4. That's what this is. That's going to fit right in here. So those are our major pieces that we're going to use. Either you can use colored cardstock or you can use white. And I think it works best with white because we're going to be using a lot of DSP, designer series paper, and colored cardstock besides. So what we're going to do next is we're going to cut our designer series paper. No, yes. Yes, we are. 5 3/8. That's this piece. 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, and that is going to get glued. So basically, that's this base piece an 1/8 inch shorter. Anybody have any big plans for New Year's Eve? Anything fun going on? Parties or celebrations or anything? Our church does a pork and sauerkraut dinner, as I believe a whole lot of churches do, and we get involved in that pretty much. So we are going to be getting prepped for that the day before, and we're going to have to be there early the next day. So there will be no partying for us. We're going to take a strip of coordinating cardstock. We're going to cut it 5.5 by 2. That's what this piece is here, the 5.5 by 2. And I have fresh freesia on that. But what I want to do with that also is I want to take a piece of coordinating either ribbon or twine or something like that. Now I used, and I think it looked good, but I can't find it. It's here. It is here somewhere. I know it is. Okay, I'll get another one out of my linen thread pile. Okay, I just used a piece of linen thread. I'll get one out of here. There's one that's not wrapped up. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, hey, Linda. You had trouble finding me again. I was telling everybody I had trouble finding myself. I was looking earlier to see who all was signed on last time, and I couldn't find it myself. So I'm glad you found it. We're doing a gatefold card. And this is using Dainty Delight from the new catalog. The new mini catalog is going to be available in January. And I hope you got my email that I sent to you earlier today. We were talking about that, about how sometimes they get thrown in the junk mail. And I don't know for sure if yours is getting thrown in the junk mail or if yours is just my I don't know. It just seems like for some reason it doesn't like your email address. And I know you've given it to me 10 times, and I know I've gotten some things to go to you. So I have no idea why it's doing what it's doing. But I hope you got it. If you didn't get it, let me know and I'll try sending it again. And we'll just keep going until it gets there. But it was an email dated December 20th, and that's where the measurements were for the bridge card that fits in an envelope. Oh, you did reply back. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Quiet here, Carol. You mean for New Year's? Not doing much of anything? Yeah, it's gonna be quiet here. I'll be glad if I'm up yet at midnight. Okay, so I just tied a piece of twine around this and put a little ribbon on it all the way over to the edge because it is gonna our piece our actual card is going to be glued on top. Now I'm going to stick a little bit of tape on the back of this just to keep it so that it doesn't float around. I don't want it to go up and down. I want it to stay right where it is. And it's going to get glued down right away, but in the process. Okay. All right. So we have so far taken our base 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We've attached our designer series paper 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and we have attached this piece of coordinating cardstock 5 1/2 by 2. We wrapped that up with our stuff, linen thread, and we glued it all together. Now we're going to make the card part that's going to go on top. Okay, this is the inside. I'm going to put that aside for now. We're going to cover the front and the insides of this with our designer series paper. I'm going to put this aside too because we're not going to use that right now, but we are going to use it eventually. And this is the designer series paper that we're using. And I did not cut this yet because I wanted to show you what we're going to do to cut this. We want 4 pieces, 1 7/8 by 4 1/8. And what we want, when you look at the card, we want something that's going to coordinate for the front and for the inside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut off my 1 7/8. I'm going to cut here and there. 1 7/8, because those two kind of looked like they matched. Okay, 1 7/8 there, 1 7/8 here. Then the next ones, I want to get those black-eyed Susans in here. So again, I'm going to do the 1 7/8. And yeah, it's going to cut off the black-eyed Susan some, but it's okay. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. Turning it upside down so I don't even see what it's doing. I want 1 7/8 here. Okay. So I'm going to put those 2 pieces in the front, and I'm going to put these 2 pieces on the inside. Now it's 1 7/8 by 4 1/8. So here's where I have to be really careful when I'm cutting, because I want these to be 4 1/8. I'm going to cut some off the bottom, but I want to cut the top first. So I'm going to cut the top right above that sunflower. Now I want it 4 1/8. So I'm going to twist it around here to the 4 1/8. And I'm going to cut off the bottom. Yeah, I'm going to cut off the bottom. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other half. I want it at 4 1/8, but I'm going to cut the top first. And I'm going to take this down to 4 1/8 and cut what I can off the bottom to get it there. And there's my 2 pieces for the front. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing in the inside. These are my inside pieces. Cut the top. Then I'm going to measure it to 4 1/8 and cut the bottom off. Cut the top. Take it to 4 1/8 and cut the bottom off. And that's all I need the cutting for now. The rest of these pieces, I love this paper. I'm going to use it for sure. I can guarantee that because it's so pretty. So now this was my gatefold piece. This piece was 8 by 4 1/4, scored at 2 and at 6. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 2 pieces with the black-eyed Susans on the front. And I'm going to show you that little coloring technique for the stamps to get a multicolor on your stamps then for the inside. Okay, and I think I'm out of glue. Grab another bottle. I have got a whole lot of bottles from parties that have just a little smidge in the bottom, and I'm trying to use them up. So I'm like scraping the bottom of the barrel here on these glue bottles. Okay, so those 2 are pretty good. And then on the inside, I've got these purple things going and some yellow things. On one side. There, and now we have our piece for the middle that was 3 1/2 by 3 3/4. And what I'm doing with that piece is I'm going to take this stamp. Okay, you see there's just some little flowers on it. And I'm going to take my markers. I have a green, which I am using Pear Pizzazz. I have, let's see, I'm going to do some purples. So I'm using the Fresh Freesia and the Gorgeous Grape. Actually, I think I'm going to use Highland Heather instead of Gorgeous Grape here. And then just for some little added interest. I have some Daffodil Delight and some Melon Mambo. So what I'm going to do now, and I'm using the smaller stamp. The card that I showed you, the sample, is bigger. Okay, this takes up just about the whole inside. This one's a lot smaller, and I did that because I also cut the square down a little bit because you don't want to sit here and watch me color this whole piece in because it's not a really fast process. But I'm coloring the leaves and the stems green. So I made this one a little bit, I'm using the smaller stamp just so you see what I'm doing here. So, I mean, I know that a lot of you, Stampin' Up! Has 52 different colors. Oh, wait, more than 52. 52 plus the ink colors. So there's 52 colors of stamp pads, plus the ink colors. And a lot of you don't want to or can't afford to invest in all 52 colors right off the bat. So you're looking for a way that you can do this without spending so much money right off the bat. This is a way you can do it. If you get a particular family, because these stamps come in color, they come in packs, like all the neutrals or all brights or all subtles. Okay, so you get one color family that you think you will use a lot. And let's see, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do here. Okay, I'm going to take the Highland Heather and do the top of this. And then you can use these to add a lot of color to your stamps because these are water soluble, so they will come off just like your ink pads will. So you color where you deposit your color where you want it. Okay, I took the darker purple, and this is the fresh freesia. That's going to go up here at the top. Okay, and now you say, well, yeah, but it's drying. And it is. It's drying when I'm putting it down. You know, I can't color the whole stamp at once, but you'll see what happens. Okay, there's your fresh freesia. And I'm going to do some yellow. I'm going to make some of these pink too. Just because I like pink. Okay, the whole thing is colored. Everything's colored in, and part of it's dried out. So what I'm going to do, watch over here, is I'm going to huff on it. That's kind of going to re-wet everything. Then I'm going to take it and just stick it on my paper, hold it there for a second or two, and lift it off. And look at that. I love it. I just love this technique. Now, just to fill in, I just like the leaves to fill in a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of go back in them with a little bit of the green. And anything else that you want to go in and color in a little bit more, you can do that. But I think that's pretty good, just the way it is. I do really like this. So, and then it washes off. You're going to take use your chamois just the way you normally do, like that. And your stamp is clean. Like I said, these are water base. Your markers are water base. So it just cleans off very nicely. And it's a way for you to get all your colors onto a stamp without having to buy a bazillion ink pads. So for this card, I would like to, I'm going to do it very similar to this one where it says celebrate you on the outside. And then I'm just going to put a happy birthday on the inside just because I want to keep it fairly simple. So I'm taking my, okay, celebrate you. And I had everything sitting here. There it is. And I'm doing that in Gorgeous Grape because I'm a little dark. And I'm using, oh, where did the happy birthday get to? Here it is. Just, don't even tell me I stuck my elbow in the ink pad. Okay, the happy birthday. I'm just going to put right there. I have noticed that every time I stamp happy birthday, it comes out leaning up a little bit. Excuse me. And this is something I am, it, when you are putting the labels on the back of your stamps, you've really got to be careful that you get them straight for that reason, because it looked like I was putting it on straight and it comes out a little crooked. And then I just stick that in here. I use this double oval punch so much. This is one of my I couldn't do without it things. I just really, really use it a lot. And oh, I put away the Gorgeous Grape a little too soon because I'm going to just do a real quick dauber figure at the edge of this. I have to tell you guys, I got so many homemade Christmas cards. I loved them all. Thank you so much because I just, to me, it's like people when they make homemade Christmas cards, they were beautiful to begin with. Every single one of them was beautiful, but it just tells me that somebody has actually taken the time to make me a card. And I just think that it's so, so nice. So thank you so much for everybody who made me a card and sent it to me. I really do appreciate it. And I just want you to know that. And I never get rid of them. I never get rid of them. I have them all. I keep them forever. Yes, I do. Okay, that's ready to go. Now I'm going to glue this on the inside. And it's ready to be signed. Or have a message written inside, however you want to do. And then that part is going to get glued right onto the front of this. And you're going to center it, eyeball it. You don't have to be exact. And there it is. Now for the finishing touch, I have this shimmer, which is what I use for the Celebrate You background, but it's a I just cut a strip of it. I just think this paper is so very pretty. And I took the Banners Pick a Punch and I cut that out there. And I leave a little bit of it hanging over, okay, over on the edge. And then I'm going to cut this off right here. I'm just going to mark it there and cut it off quick. And it didn't cut all the way through. Oh, who are we missing? Barb, we're missing Karen. We're missing a lot of people tonight. But you're here, so I'm glad to see you. I think a lot of people thought I might not be here. And that reminds me, that was one thing I did not mention. Let's see, January 12th, Thursday, I will be at the Robisonia Library, and that will be the normal time, 1:30 to 3:30, 4, whatever. And then January 18th, that is Wednesday, I will be at the Warnersville Library from 5 to 7:30. Now, I can't be at two places at once. So, since I'm going to be at the Warnersville Library on January 18th, I'm not going to be on Facebook Live because I will be there till 7:30 unless I get done a lot earlier than 7:30. We'll have to really wing that. But I kind of doubt that, like that Wednesday, I'm going to do anything. And I have to figure out what I'm going to do from there on. If I'm going to go earlier or if I'm going to just totally bag that particular Wednesday, or I'm getting a glare from something and I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. I thought it was coming from this light, but it's not. So I don't know where it's coming from. Anyway, so the 18th of January, and as we get to that week, I will let you know again that there's a really good chance I won't be doing a live that night because I'll be at the Warnersville Library doing a live there. So we'll see what happens. Okay, let's get back to this card. So I just tweaked the end of it with this Banners Pick a Punch. And then I'm going to glue that down. And it gets glued to their half so you don't get your glue on the other side. But you want some overhang because it's going to catch. I want it to catch on this side once I put everything together. Now you'll see, let me just show you what I mean here. In between this piece and this piece, there's a space. And this half is going to fit right in there and lock, and it's going to hold it together so that it doesn't flop open all the time. Now, once the person gets it, well, they can do whatever they want to do, but when you put it in your envelope, it's going to go in just like that. So to do that, we're just putting a piece on here that's going to hang over a little bit. We are then going to cut a piece for this side that fits exactly. And match it up so you have a straight line going across there. Okay, then we're going to take this piece And we're just going to glue. We're going to miss this part with glue. Just a little bit on the end here, but we're going to get glue on the whole rest of it. Did I say that right? So we're going to put glue in the back, but we're not going to get it right there. And we are going to stick this kind of close to that edge, like that. And we're going to let that dry before we try to work our mechanism. But basically, the card's finished. I'm just letting the glue dry. So that's our card. Happy birthday. I just love this paper. I really, really do. And it's free. $50. Purchase $50, you can get it free. And I have, of course, already purchased more than $50 and gotten a couple packs of it free. And I will be using it so much. You're going to see a lot of it. So I hope you like it as much as I do. So that's that. Now, one more really quick thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to just quick show you the calendars. And the calendars also I did with the same set. And this is going to be very cool. You're going to like this. Okay, so these I did a little different from the way I had been doing my calendars. Here's the measurements. I did these 5¼ by 8½. Okay, that's this. Scored at 4¼ So basically it's like a card base almost. Okay, then I took another piece that's 5¼ this way by 3 this way. It's scored at 1/2 inch, 1½, and 2½. Now you can do that 2 ways. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. See if I have one that's not scored. I think I scored them all. I have a lot of them here waiting to go. I'm making quite a few of them. And I think I scored them all. Shoot, yes I did. Okay, so you're scoring a 1/2 inch here. You can just turn it around and score another 1/2 inch on this side. And then right down the center, which is your 1½. Okay, so, or you can go that way. You go 1/2 inch, 1½, and 2½. Okay, I hope that made sense. So you have your card base here. You have this. You're folding up the sides like so. Linda, I can post the directions if you want. Yes. The main part of that card, I mean, it's not a hard card to do. The biggest thing is cutting the designer paper to the way you want it, cutting it so that it fits. And any designer paper, I mean, anything, like you could use any kind of floral thing for that. And it would look really nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so we end up with our W like this. Okay, we're going to put glue here and here. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and use this. And then stick it right at the bottom on that side and on that side. And then we have our stand-up piece, right? Okay, now you could take this and you could go right with this to put your calendar on, but I like to give it some depth. I don't know what I'm saying. So what I did here is I took a piece of Highland Heather, and I took it and I made it like a quarter of an inch smaller than this. So, oh, let's see. Well, okay, it's a quarter of an inch smaller all the way around, and it's ready to go. Now, this is the ovals from that paper that I showed you. Now, I'm going to cut this because I want this to be, yeah, I want this to be a little bit smaller yet. So this is 5 by 4. So I'm going to take this down to like 4 1/4 or 4 3/4. So cut more off there. And I want this to be about 3 3/4. And if I can cut it without destroying the flowers, I will do that. Let me see that fits perfect. That is just what I want. Okay, I want to leave some over here open because I'm going to stamp something on there. So the other thing I'm doing, just because I like to do this with with these ovals, if you have some kind of an oval die cut that will go around the outside edge of this, that would be perfect. I thought the fitting florets would be, but it's not. It doesn't work. So what I did is I have this detailed trio punch, and I believe this is still available, and it has a corner rounder, or you might have another corner rounder punch. And I'm just going to round all these corners to make it almost an oval, but not quite. And I'm going to glue that onto my Highland Heather. And I'm going to use actually, I chose a different stamp. It says you make a difference every day. And because of the reference to the days, I decided to use it on a calendar. So I have a nice empty spot here and here, so it can go either place. But I want to put it here because that's more open. Let me use the Highland Heather. No, well, yeah, maybe. I don't remember if I used Highland Heather. Nope. I think I used the Gorgeous Grape. Now, these calendars, if you want to make one of these and you don't have the calendar and you don't want to buy 10 of them because you have to buy 10 of them, just let me know. I have extras and I would get one to you. Um, or I may even give you a whole calendar and then you don't have to worry about it, when it's already made. Okay, now you're going to take a piece. You have your calendar, another piece of the Highland Heather paper, and it's cut just a tad bit bigger than the calendar. And it is going to go, the calendar is going to get glued onto it. I got calendar with adhesive, but the adhesive is only at the top. Adhesive is only at the top. Okay, and this is going to go kind of like a little mat. And then the whole thing is going to get right in the center of the little wreath. And that's not going to work. Okay. And then this all gets glued right onto this. So see, it gives it some heft. It makes it just a little bit more sturdy so that when it's sitting on someone's desk or kitchen counter or wherever they're going to set it, it has a little more oomph to it. And then to give it even more, I stamped another piece of fresh freesia with Follow Your Own Star and a flower from the Dainty Delight set. And I'm just going to glue that onto the back so the back isn't totally plain. And it adds another little depth to the back of the calendar. Now, anybody who has gotten a calendar from me before, they were not shaped like this. They were up and down. In fact, I may have, yes, I do. I have one right here that's at the end of its season. This is one from last year. And I basically did the same. Everything is the same on this. This is cut 4 by 11, scored at 5.5. And then there's a 4 by 3 piece that's in here, scored again at a half, 1.5, and 2.5. And then it's put up like this. So, I mean, you can do it whatever paper you have that you want to work with. You can do it this way if you prefer that, or you can do it this way. Depends on your space, depends on your what you're doing. I did it this way because I love these and I wanted to use them. And so that's why this one is going in this direction. So that's how they are this year. Okay, so that's it for tonight. Um, Here's our card. And there is the mechanism that closes it, holding it closed, and that worked pretty well. There it is. I wanted to just primarily show you how to cut your designer paper to fit your needs, however you want them to go, and how to use the Stampin' markers, Stampin' Right markers to color your stamps. One of the things I do want to caution you with is these are water-based markers, so they work for this terrifically. When they dry out, you can huff on them to get them back, and you can clean them really nicely on the chamois. But don't use Stampin' Blends. They will stain the markers. They will not stay wet. They will dry too fast, and you can't get them back. So you need to know, just you need to remember that this only works with markers, not with the Stampin' Blends. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you. You have the card, you have the calendar, $50. You buy $50 worth of stuff out of the mini catalog. You get this paper for free, and it is so worth it. It's so pretty. It's the only way you can get that paper. You can't buy it. Thank you, Susie. Okay, Linda, Carol, Jane, thank you all for joining me. I was glad to talk to you all. Have a very happy New Year. Have a good celebration. Be safe, be careful, and I can't wait to see you next year. Good night.